What's up, everybody? I'm Finn McKenty. This is the Punk Rock MBA. Today, I wanted to talk about the latest piece of brilliant marketing from the masters of metal marketing, Behemoth. So for anybody who is not familiar with the band, they are a Polish blackened death metal band. This is the singer of the band, a guy named Nergal, sorry. He's kind of the brains of the operation. This is what he looks like in his street clothes and his civilian clothes, but this is what the band looks like on stage. Here's another good example in their promo photos. As you can see, they put a ton of time and energy into like the packaging of their band, into the like visual presentation of the band. And I think it's a huge factor for their success. I mean, for being a Polish extreme metal band, they've done very, very well for themselves. And I think that the packaging is, I mean, their music is very good, but I think the packaging is the reason why they have had outsized success for their genre. They've performed much better than a band in their genre should. And I believe it's because they're so incredibly good at marketing. And here's an example of it, which I will share with you and then talk a little bit about like what it means, because it's such a great example of the thing I always talk about, which is like, why would anybody give a shit? What's different? What's unique? What's special? Why would anybody care about what you were doing? This is a perfect example of how to do that. So let me just explain what this is. So Behemoth releases a trailer for God Equals Dog Food. Behemoth will release their new album, I Loved You at Your Darkest, on October 5th. But more importantly is that they are releasing their very own dog food. The band recently announced the dog food at a Metal Injection hosted album listening party, and now we've got some sweet trailers to go along with it. So here is the trailer for their dog food, and there's a few things to notice here. Is like, this band does not half-ass anything when it comes to the packaging of their music. I mean, this trailer it's essentially for like a novelty joke product, this, fake dog food. They went all out on it, for the first time in human history. They've sort of made it, although almost like it's a trailer for like a God of War game or something like that. The cross serves a purpose. Like, I love that they're able to like use humor as part of their brand, even though, they've got this super serious Lord of the Rings kind of thing going on as well. They're also able to use humor. That's brilliant. That just shows you exactly how good these guys are at talking to their fans. So look, I mean, this packaging is no joke. I mean, this is like, they've got this illustration here of a dog chewing on a cross that's like chewing on an upside down cross made of bones. And here you can see like they've got this nice matte black zip seal package and foil embossed letters. I mean, they didn't half-ass this packaging. And you can also see, where is it here? There's actually a list of ingredients. Like, I think they actually made real dog food, and they had it pressed in the shape of little upside down crosses. Like, there's so many little you've heard me talk about in some of these other videos how important it is to like insist on the highest standards when it comes to execution. This is a perfect example of it. Like, so many little details that other people would have half-assed, they didn't let themselves off the hook. The foil, the upside down crosses, the illustrations. I mean, that's how these guys roll. They don't half-ass any of it, and that is, I think, a huge part of why they're successful. So then he announces it on Instagram, blah, 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 blah. But let me talk about why specifically, like the one specific takeaway that came to mind here for me is that they tied it to this listening party. And I'll tell you why this is so smart. You've heard me talk before, as I said, about like what is interesting, why would anybody care? Like, a listening party is a good example of that. Like, even like a listening party on its own is not necessarily newsworthy, even if it's Behemoth. Like, going to a Behemoth listening party, sure, anybody would want to do that, but why would anybody necessarily write about a Behemoth listening party or talk about it? Like, it's not really, it's a cool thing if you're part of it, but it's not necessarily that interesting to talk about after the fact. But what if you also at that listening party, you released your God Equals Dog food? Well, now you have added that special twist. Like I've said, what's different about why would anybody care that you put out a new video? Why would anybody care that you have announced a tour? Why would anybody care that you have a listening party? Well, it's because you released this funny dog food, right? That is the twist that makes this thing interesting and unique. That's the twist that's going to make people talk about it. That's the twist that's going to make people care. So, I mean, this is just a perfect example of it. And the fact, I mean, look at this. They actually like made a real list of ingredients here. I mean, this is just, and the fact that they didn't half-ass the packaging, as I said, makes it inherently more shareable. And now, so they got, look, you know, oh, look at this here. They've got drink specials, like, oh, it's at the Vandal Bar. Okay. So look, they've got drink specials. They've got a menu. I mean, they just, this is how you do it, guys. Don't half-ass anything. Like, execute, 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 insist on the highest standards. That is how you get people to talk about your shit. Like, come up with a clever idea like this, like dog food. I'm not saying everything has to have like a funny gimmick necessarily, although that's, you know, as I've talked about in my video about, you know, Our Last Night, which a lot of you guys didn't like, a funny gimmick is, I don't know, it's hard to go wrong there. But challenge yourself just like these guys do. Even Behemoth, as here's the big takeaway. Even though Behemoth is an extremely respected, established band that, you know, everybody loves and cares about, even though they know that everyone's going to be excited for this album just because it's a new Behemoth album, they still challenge themselves. They still challenge themselves to say, what can we do that's interesting and special and unique? What can we do to like really push this to the next level and make people talk about us again and again and again? I made another video about their like behemoth.church website where you had to like say the little satanic prayer to reveal the song snippet. Like, that was brilliant. Now they've got this dog food. Like, that's brilliant. This is how it's done, my friends. Like, if you want people to care about your band, this is what you do. Like, pay attention to everything that Nergal does. This guy is the best mind in metal marketing, in my opinion. I definitely need to make a video about these guys because there's just so much to learn from how they do things. So there you go. That is the news for today. Behemoth's God Equals Dog, Dog Food, and their new album coming out October 5th. I'm curious, you know, we've got another week here. I bet they're going to do one more thing. We'll see. I bet you they'll do one more thing to like really like dominate the conversation, really be top of mind, maybe on the release day or something like that. I bet they've got one more trick up their sleeve, so let's see what it is. Until then, I will sign off for now. And if you enjoyed this video, if you thought it was informative or entertaining or helpful in any way, please subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed or for some reason you do not want to subscribe, well, that's okay. Actually, it's not okay, but at least like the video, leave a comment, share it with a friend. Whatever you can do to help spread the word would be very much appreciated. And with that, I'm going to sign off for now, but I will see you next time.